Hello everybody. So this is an instruction guide for the Alera Desk Shell, VA217236. I lost or didn't have power on my camera initially, so I started a little late here. But these are the pieces. It's actually rather simple. There's four main pieces. As you can see, I'm pointing at the main pieces here, and they're labeled with lettering I, G, F, H. I and F are the two big parts. Now what I'm pointing at now are these little lock screws that you put in, and if you look at the instruction sheet that I had on the opening there, you can see where it goes, plus look at the video where I'm pointing where each of these little lock screws or lock nut things go. The key is make sure the little arrow on the nuts face the hole that they're next to. Alright, then you're going to be putting in, so those are called cams. Then you're going to be putting these little screws in, and I apologize for how fast I'm going. I missed the beginning of the recording, but again, you can see where you put these studs, these basically screw studs, in around the perimeter of F, G, and H. Now, actually, I already did it for F, but now I'm going to do it for G and H, as you can see. So these studs, and let me see what they call these, are called, I have no idea what they're called. Anyway, they're just like little screws. One end screws into a threaded hole in the desk, but it looks like it's metal, like a nut in there. So it's very secure. And then you're going to want a Phillips head screwdriver to tighten them in. Now again, I missed in the beginning when I did this on F. Put these in on F. So what you're seeing right now is G and H, which are the smaller side panels, while F and I are the large panels, in case the little letters, the sticky letters, aren't on them. Again, I apologize. It's the beginning of the video. The battery wasn't working, and I didn't notice. So then you put these little wood pegs in next to the studs, those little screw studs, and this here is the the F panel. So I'm putting it in there, and you can see this where I'm putting the little wood studs in there. It's also in the instruction guide, which was at the beginning of the video there, so you can print that from that. So you can see I'm putting those little screws. Now look, be careful where you put these the screw studs, because there's a lot of other places to put them, and I'm guessing that's for expansions on the desk shell. Again, I'm only doing the shell. I didn't get any expansions. So anyway, now I'm doing G and H, so you can see I put the little wood studs. And by the way, make sure they're in there pretty secure. They went in pretty good. I didn't notice any huge issues with putting those in, but you could probably tap it with the hammer. Now we get to the fun part. So we lift up I, and then we're going to put G on first. Okay? And you want to look at the instruction guide to make sure you know which one is G. And for whatever reason, they want you to put G on first. I'm not sure it matters. You could probably do H first. But make sure you get the right one in the correct way. I'm not sure it would even go in any other way. Also, if you didn't put those cams, those little screw cams in with the arrow pointing at the circle, it won't go in to those little studs that you got sticking out. So make sure those cams have the arrows correct. Now, once you put G into I, then you turn the cam screw to the right. like 3/4 of the way around, or until it's reasonably tight. And I wouldn't like use your superpowers on those screws, because I'm guessing you could strip them. So, I mean, just tighten it pretty good and secure, but don't like break out the Hulk powers. You know, it's just not necessary, and stripping it probably ruins everything. So then we grab up H, and again, I think I actually had the cam arrow not correct when I was doing this, and you can see it doesn't go in if you don't have the cam arrow. See, look at me. Oh, maybe I did already change it, but that's the beauty of doing these videos, is I can cut out the parts where I screw up, and it makes me look like a hero. Actually, maybe it's still not going in. But anyway, I figured it out, and then you make sure the cam arrow is in the correct direction. See, I think I figured it out. Yeah, there it is. So I found the cam arrow was not in the correct fit. See now how it goes in easy if you have the cam arrows pointing at the little holes. You see how easy? Anyway, so then you tighten down the cams once you got H in. Actually, this part was reasonably easy. What's coming up next, you're probably going to need a helper, but my helper wasn't super helpful. So you might have to do it yourself for some of it. So you basically, what you're going to be doing is sliding the assembled G, H, and I on top of F, because it's going to go on those little cams, or those little studs that are sticking out into the cams. See where I'm showing you there? And yeah. It's so anyway, I was by myself, so I just sort of slid it onto there, you know, as best I could. You just sort of lift it up over the studs and inch it over there. And then I got some towels that I used underneath one side while I worked on the other. So the towels were like a jack stand, you know, to hold up one side. Now, if you have two people, you know, you get one person on each side and you can maneuver it properly. But that's not easy. So you look. This, you gotta fiddle with this a little bit. You're gonna have to use a little bit of strength, and make sure the studs go into those cam holes properly. And it's gonna take a little bit of fiddling and patience, and you know, be careful with your fingers. But you know, I had to you know, fiddle with it quite a bit, and again, using the towels as a, you know, to support it on one side while I'm doing the other side. Look, this is not an easy part, especially if you're doing it by yourself. I mean, with a helper, you know, you squirm it in there. You know, just be patient with it. I don't know how long I show here. It took me a little while. I was pretty much by myself, and constantly, like, you know, you get one side in and then the other side doesn't go in, and I'm like fiddling with it. I don't know why I'm showing all this. It's really pointless. It doesn't really help anybody, I don't think, just watching me sit there and fiddle with it. But it looks like I showed it. Anyway, while I show my misery here, it's you know, it's a pretty well engineered desk. This thing, I mean, constructed. It's not cheap at all. Yeah, it's particle board, but it's thick and heavy. I think this shell weighs like 200 pounds. It is heavy, and it's heavy duty, and the engineering of it is pretty good too. I mean, the parts went together. Yes, this wasn't easy doing this part, but it's designed for two people. The instructions even have like a picture of two people on this part. And they have a picture of a person on each side. So it's not designed for one person, that's for sure. And anyway, so after you do finally get it in there, and you can see I'm not bleeding, which is impressive. I did get a little thumb bruise because it smashed my thumb, as could be expected. But afterwards, you tighten those cams down. And don't forget, there's cams in the back also, and along the back panel right there. In the middle, there's a cam screw also. So make sure, I don't know if I got all of them, but make sure you tighten all the cam screws. Down, and there it is. So afterwards, you put those little the little footers on there and just screw them down completely. Those aren't like supposed to be adjustable, as far as I can tell. I think you're supposed to tighten them down. I don't think they're adjustable ones. So crank it down. I did, and it worked just fine. It was very level. And then after you do these, they have like cosmetics things that you put in the cam screws. It's up to you if you want to do it. It does look a little better. And then they got like stickers. It's the same color as the finish to cover some of the other holes, and I did those. I don't know if I took the video of it. But anyway, I do again apologize for missing the beginning. Hopefully, just the pictures are good enough to help. I try to do these things just to help out folks because I use YouTube all the time. It helps me on many things that I'm working on. So any chance that I'm building something that, I can put up and help other folks, to help the whole community. So this is a finished product. Looks nice. I lifted it by myself. I used my superpowers. And didn't break anything. I survived. Let me tell you, this thing is no joke. So there you have it, guys.